अरे झाला. एक मिनिट थांब. हो झाला, कनेक्ट झाला आता. वैभव नाही का? नाही, इथे ऑप्शन नाही आता. बहु मोठे जॉईंट होतात का?
पासवर्ड काय?
सुनील @1986.
ठीक आहे, येऊ मी.
झालं का? कुठे इंटरनेट झाला का?
हो का, झालं.
ठीक आहे, झालं झालं. त्याचं नाव काय सर? शिवम धोटे. अक्षय आला. अक्षय ना? खाली आहे. 21 जण झाले होते ना, 40 झाले तरी.
ऑक्टोबरमध्ये तुम्ही 50 पूर्ण होता, बरोबर?
ऑक्टोबर जानेवारी
या जानेवारीत का?
नाही, पाहिलं ना. त्याच्यावरून बोला ना. कॅमेराचा ड्रायव्हर टाका. काय कॅमेरा आता ना पुश करा. आतमध्ये कसं बघू आता तुमच्या टाकतो. हॅलो.
माझा नकोय. मायक्रोफोन माझा काय नाही, तुम्ही सुरू केला ना तर तुमचा आवाज जाईल. हे बघा. मी-
हा सर. हा सर. झाला का सुरू झाला? हो सुरू होत आहे सर. सगळे जॉईन झाले.
गुड मॉर्निंग.
ठीक आहे. हो. हो. येतो म्हणते आता. येतो म्हणते.
बंद कर दो टर्न. थांबा, तुमचा आवाज सुरू आहे. गुड मॉर्निंग एव्हरीबडी. सुरू करा ना. ओके.
36 जण झाले सर जॉईन. जॉईन झाला आहे. जॉईन झाला आहे. लावा ना. लावा ना.
Morning, everyone. Today, it's 30th September 2025. Manarbhai Shikshan Prasarak Mandal, Armoris, Mahatma Gandhi, Arts, Science, and late Nasruddin Bhai Panjwani, Commerce College, Armoris, English Department is organizing a one-day national e-seminar on new areas of research in English language and literature. On behalf of English Department, I welcome Chairman of the National E-Seminar, Honorable Principal Dr. L.H. Khalsa Sir, Principal Mahatma Gandhi College, Armori. My heartfelt welcome to keynote speaker of E-Seminar, Honorable Dr. Akshay Dhote Sir, Chairperson Board of Studies, English, Gondwana University, Gadchiroli. My heartfelt welcome to second keynote speaker, respected Dr. Vivek Joshi Sir, Professor and Head, English Department, Gondwana University, Gadchiroli. I welcome respected Dr. Nomesh Mishran Sir, Professor and Head, English Department, Mahatma Gandhi College, Armori. And I extend my warm welcome to all faculty members, research scholars, and dear students who have joined us virtually. Language and literature are not field of studies, but they reflect human thoughts, culture, and creativity. With the passing of time, many new areas of research have been developed, such as digital humanities, eco-criticism, cultural studies, gender studies, comparative studies, translation studies, and many more. This seminar will definitely give us chance to explore new areas of research and exciting field of research in English language and literature. Now I would like to invite Chairperson of the National E-Seminar, Principal Dr. L.H. Khalsa Sir, to deliver his introductory speech. Respected Khalsa Sir, over to you, sir.
Okay. So am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you. It's my great honor to greet our respected speakers, colleagues, participants who have joined for this national session on new age of research in English language and literature. And your presence shows your commitment to learning, research, and academic growth. Therefore, we are grateful to you all. At the outset, a special welcome to our today's eminent speakers, Professor Dr. Akshay Kumarji Dhote, who is the Chairman, Board of Studies in English at Gondwana University. At the same time, I also express my deep gratitude to the Professor Dr. Vivek Joshi, who is the head of the Department of English at Gondwana University. We are privileged to have you with us and look forward to your insights. Actually, nowadays we see this picture. The study of English are no longer limited to the traditional approaches because we observe that there is a great impact of technology, modernization, and globalization, particularly on the study of English. And it completely changed the studies of English because of these modernization, technology, impact of technology or globalization. Therefore, I think that there are a lot of opportunities for the students, for the teachers, for the researchers. And I can say the new areas of the research or study in English is like digital humanities. This is recently, as the technology developed, there is a new field, digital humanities, or we can say diversity in cultural studies, translation studies, media and communication studies, interdisciplinary research, creative writing, literature analysis. Like these are various new types of fields are now opening new opportunities for learning and research, particularly in English. Also that very well. Recently, everyone talk about the AI, artificial intelligence, and AI tools. There are lots of AI and AI tools are developed. And AI has become very significant, play the very significant role in the research because artificial intelligence AI tools like ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Gemini, these can support the researchers by quickly summarizing the information, analyzing the large data, ideas, giving the new ideas, assisting with the language and writing, even suggesting the research and direction. So therefore, it helps. The AI helps to open the doors for innovative approaches that we cannot find ever before. So this is the very advantage of the AI for the particularly research in languages and other also. However, we use this AI, artificial intelligence tool, but at the same time, there are challenges also for using the AI in the research. What are these challenges? We need to verify the accuracy. Because every time you cannot blindly believe faith on the AI tools or AI information. At the same time, avoid dependence on automated outputs. Sometimes we are fully dependent on the automated outputs. We have we are mainly focused on the outputs. So therefore, don't be over dependence on the automated outputs. Ensure ethical and responsible use. This is also very important for us. So, in my view, AI may support human intelligence, but AI is not the replacement of human intelligence. So, researchers must use it carefully to maintain the originality and critical thinking in our work. This is very important for us. So, definitely, our English department, I also appreciate Professor Dr. Nomesh Meshram and his entire team. Their dedication and hard work made this event possible. So I also encourage everyone who participate this seminar or join this seminar. They may participate actively and ask questions and share their ideas very freely. Once again, a warm welcome to all of you. I hope today's seminar is insightful, thought-provoking, and rewarding for everyone. So, I will not take much more time, but thank you very much. And once again, I welcome you all. Over to madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Our college was top conducting such kind of intellectual programs. We will definitely make. Okay. Thank you, sir. And now we move to our towards our TED guidance and talk of keynote speakers. I would like to invite respected Dr. Akshay Dhote sir to lighten us on the topic new areas of research in English language. Before that, I request Mr. Rahul sir for the introduction of this test.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. It's my great honor to introduce our luminous Dr. Akshay Vinayaka Dhote sir, Professor and Head of the Department of English at Sardar Patel Mahavidyalaya, Chandrapur. He holds a PhD from RTM Nagpur University, Nagpur, with a research focused on Arun Golodkar's Jejuri. Dr. Dhote has been associated with Sardar Patel Mahavidyalaya for over 2 decades, serving as assistant professor, associate professor, and now professor and HOD since 2012. He is an experienced research guide, currently supervising PhD and MPhil students under RTM Nagpur University, Nagpur, Gondwana University, Gadchiroli, JJT University, Rajasthan, and Algappa University, Tamil Nadu. Under his mentorship, 8 students have been awarded their PhD degrees, highlighting his exceptional guidance. Dr. Dhote has received recognition from the UGC for minor research project, and his scholarly work includes 20 papers presented at conferences and seminars, 15 papers published in national and international journals, and authorship and co-authorship of 6 textbooks and edited volumes. He is actively involved in academic administrations, serving on various boards and committees, and regularly participates in conferences, workshops, and seminars at state, national, and international levels. Once again, I welcome and request Dr. Akshay Doti sir to deliver his speech on the topic New Areas of Research in English Language. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Over to ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Akshay Dhote, sir. Am I audible, sir? Akshay Dhote, sir. Akshay Dhote, sir.
Yes.
Welcome, sir.
Am I audible, madam?
Yes, welcome, sir.
President of today's e-conference, Dr. Khalsa sir, Principal, Mahatma Gandhi Arts Science College, Armory. My friend, colleague, Dr. Vivek Joshi, Head of PGTD Department, Gondwan University, Ganchili, and convener of this seminar, Dr. Lomesh Meshram. At the outset, I like to express my thanks or gratitude towards Khalsa sir for giving me this opportunity to share my views on research in language. So this is the most important topic that the committee and the college has selected for this particular seminar, because nowadays research is going to be a very important one, and particularly when we think about that research in language, it is going to be a very essential. Why we are doing research, what will be the probable outcome, and what are the motives behind doing that particular research in language. We all know that language is more than just a word or a grammar. It is the very livelihood of the society, and it goes on changing with the scenario, with the phase, with the transition, with the circumstances, and that's why the research in language is going to be a very important one. It is a medium through which we think, communicate, create, and connect, and this is a continuous process. Thinking is a continuous process to get connected with the world, to with the different people. It's a continuous process. At the same time, to communicate with the human being or with the world or with the different people, it is also a continuous process. That's why research in language is going to be a vital one or very important one, because it's never ending process. English occupies a special and powerful position. All of you know about this particular thing. It has become a global language, a language of science, technology, trade, literature, and diplomacy. So without English, we cannot think about exist in this ever-changing world, because this is the language which is going to make us survive, which is going to make us stand firmly in this particular world, where we can once again communicate, create, and connect among the people. It is the result of centuries of growth, change, and above all the research. So most important thing is that the research. When we talk about research in English, we are not speaking of something narrow and mechanical. We are speaking of wide living field that touches human life in countless ways. So here we are not talking about the mechanical research that we are maximally going to follow, but here we are, when we're talking about that research in language, it is going to be a different. Research gives us a new insight into how English has developed from Old English to evolve of the global English of the 21st century. It explains why British English, American English, Indian English, and African English all sound different, yet remain connected by the same core. So without research, we would never fully understand the richness and diversity of the language. So it is only the research in language that is going to make us realize how the language is going to be rich and how it has the capable of flourish our life or improve our lifestyle. Another reason why the English is so important is that English today is not only a language of native speaker, but share property of the world. More people now speak English as a second or a foreign language than as their mother tongue. This reality raises many questions. How do different cultures use in English? How do learner acquire it? How does English influence other language? And how do those languages influence English in return? The answer of these questions come only through the systematic research in the field of the language. So here we are talking about that research is not a mechanical process, but here we are talking research in language in a very broad sense. Research is also essential because English is not a statistic system. It's a dynamic, ever-changing force. Every year, new words enter the dictionary. Every expression emerges from science, politics, and popular culture. Think of the word like selfie, emoji, hashtag. None of these exist a few decades ago. It reached that tracks this change, document, and explain how society and language shapes another. So these are the very little example that I am talking about. These are the words that are nowhere in the dictionary just 10 years before or 15 years before. But the dynamics of the language or dynamics of this particular thing is that now these words are going to become the part and parcel of our life. This is the magic of the language. And to understand all this ever fast changing changing phase in the language, we must go through the proper research. Only then we can use all these things effectively in our day-to-day communication or in day-to-day, or whether it is you are in a corporate life, whether you are in some other profession, you must learn how to use the all these things very effectively to competent your performance in that particular area or in that particular field. Moreover, English is not just a tool of communication, it also vast body of literature carrying the wisdom, imagination, creativity of generation. From Shakespeare and Milton to Tagore and H.A.B., from Jane Austen to Arundhati Roy, English literature speaks to the human soul in countless ways. But literature does not explain itself. It must be studied, interpreted, reinterpreted by every age. Research keeps literature alive by asking fresh questions and discovering new meanings. Without research, the treasure of English literature would lie silent in libraries. With research, this continue to inspire and guide new readers. So this is the role of the research, and one should very clear in his mind when one is engaged in research. So that should be the aim of our research. Okay. Research in English also support the progress of and technology. So we cannot separate language from the science and technology are our day-to-day progress. Every scientific paper, every business contract, every international treaty today is likely to be written in English. This is the importance of the English language. If English is to remain effective in this domain, it must constantly be studied for clarity, precision, and accuracy. So that should be the main purpose of research in language. Because as previously we already discussed about it, that it's ever-changing process. And when we are doing research in language, so we should concentrate on this particular thing, how the language used in any contract, any corporate life, any professional life should or must be clarity, precision, and the accuracy. Research in linguistics sometimes and discourse analysis ensure that English can serve these functions without confusion and misunderstanding. So new research are always going to help us how to use all these things very effectively and accurately, because it goes on changing. What you are using in 2025, it might be completely outdated, and you are supposed to come with new ways of expressing the things, and it is only possible with the help of the research. In addition, we must recognize the role of English in cultural exchange. When an artificial novelist writes in English, or when an Indian poet translates their thoughts in English, they are not only sharing culture but also receiving the English language itself. So that is very important thing. This cultural give and take is possible only when scholar research how English carries meaning across boundaries, and how it adopts a new voice. Research guarantees that English is not merely language of a few, but language of the many. So it has no boundaries, it has no geological boundary. So with the research, we can connect this particular or narrow down this particular boundaries and the white space. And let me add one more vital point. English is not only about system and text, it's also about people, learners, teachers, readers, and speakers. Research in English allows us to understand the struggle of child learning English in rural classroom, the challenges of migrant workers communicating in foreign land, or the difficulties faced by second language learner in expressing their identity. These are the areas, these are the probable areas where we can carry out the research in language. It shows us that behind every grammar rule, there is a human being trying to connect, to belong, and to grow. So it's not only a mechanical process, but it's a human process. It is going to beyond the rules and regulation, it goes beyond the grammar. One of the strongest reasons why research in English is important is role in language learning and teaching. Today, English is taught in school, college, universities across the world. It is not only a subject, but also a skill that students need for higher education, job, international opportunities. But the question is, how do we make the teaching in English more effective, meaningful, and learner-friendly? This is where research
तो
plays
सर्वदा
very
मी म्यूट नाव जाय
important role. Being the foreign language, English is never going to be a learner friendly, and it's our motive. Until and unless it is not going to be a learner friendly, the use or the implications of this particular language is going to be very, of the ratio is very less. Particularly, I'm talking about the rural areas. And here comes the role of the research. Research is going to make us realize how we are going to make it friendly, learner friendly, and how we are going to make it more useful for the foreign learners. In earlier times, English was taught mainly through grammar rules, memorization, and translation. Students were asked to repeat sentence and learn long list of vocabulary. Many learners, many learners could write correct sentence, but they could not speak fluently or use English in real life situation. This is the most important aspect that we are discussing here. So basically, we are learning the language from the grammatical point of view, and that is the thing that we know the grammar very accurately, but when the time of speaking comes, we are lag behind. So here, once again, the research is going to play a very important role. How we can make him speak correctly, other than write correctly. This is the first step. Then next step, he can write correctly, then he can critically think about all these things. Research applied linguistics show us that the method was not enough. It proves that learning a language is not only about grammar, it also about communication, culture, and confidence. That should be the motive when we are thinking about the research in language. Through centuries, research communicative language teaching approach which encourage students to interact, role play, and use English in practical ways. Text-based learning was introduced where learners use English to complete meaningful activities such solving problems, preparing presentation, or conducting surveys. Research also help teachers to understand the importance of learner-centered classroom, where students are active participant rather than the silent listener. So this is the most important aspect as far as our profession is concerned. It's always going to be a one-way traffic. We are entering into the class and we are going to deliver the 40 minutes or 50 minutes lecture without participation from the learner or from the student. But it should not be, because until and unless it's a two-way process, because education or any dialogue, any communication, it's a two-way process. But unfortunately, this thing is not going to happen as far as our profession or classroom is concerned. And the research in language is also this particular point one should keep in mind, how we can make this our classroom teaching or our communication with the student is going to be a learner friendly, or how it is going to be a two-way topic. That should be the once again the main focus as far as the research in language is concerned. We can use the technologies, we can use the number of things that is existed presently existed here in this particular online and offline mode. So these are the things that we should concentrate. Another area where research has helped in understanding the different needs of learner. A child is a primary school. A child in a primary school does not learn in the same ways as the professional preparing for an international job interview. This is the most interesting thing. Research in English for specific purpose has shown how teaching can be adopted for different groups. So here teaching is going to be different according to the need, according to the situation, according to the learner. So every time the single method is not going to be useful for the all the learners or all the group. So that should be also the area of research where you can use the different types of the method to make your learning, to make your communication more effective, such as business English, medical English, legal English, or academic English. This makes learning more relevant and useful. Modern research has also explored the role of technology in English teaching. With the rise of the internet, mobile application, and artificial intelligence, learners today have access to interactive tools, online classroom, and even chatbot that help them practice English. So that we already discussed in the very beginning that it's ever changing. Language is an ever changing process, and these are the things that are nowadays are going to occupy a very large portion of our life, whether it is WhatsApp, whether it is artificial intelligence, mobile, internet. This is going to be the part and parcel of our life. And the motive of our research in language, that it should be that how we are going to use all these available facilities to make our learning more effective, our professional life. Research teachers in use wisely instead of replacing human interaction. So that is the most important. The most fear is that excessive use of this technology, excessive use of all these format, it is going to make us inactive. But rather than we can take it another way, that rather it is not going to make us inactive. It can make us more effective, or it can make us more easily accessible toward the learner with the help of this particular tool. So this fear should be wiped out. This fear should be wiped out that technology is going to replace us, rather than we think in another way that it is going to make us, my learning or my process, more useful and more effective. That should be the our point of view as far as research in language is concerned. Finally, research in psychology and educational remind us the emotional matter in language learning. A learner who feels anxious may hesitate to speak, while confident learners speak fluently even with the small mistake. So that the most important thing here, rather than learning the grammar, we should learn how to speak. So if you are not going to speak grammatically correct, that is the different thing. But at least you must speak fluently without hesitation. Until and unless the hesitation is not going to be wiped out, your pure emotions are not going to communicate, your pure emotions are not going to come forth. Studies on motivation, confidence, mindfulness have shown us how teachers can create supportive classroom environmental where learners feel encouraged to try, fail, and improve. So thus, research in English teaching has transformed classroom worldwide. It has moved us from rote memorization to communication, from rigid rules to flexible learning, and from teacher-centered method to learner-centered growth. So that should be the main approach as far as the research in language is concerned. We should concentrate that our teacher-centered method should be replaced by the learner-centered growth. So that will be our main target when we are going research in language. Without research, English would remain a subject of book. With research, it becomes a living skill that empowers people to connect with the world. So this is the proper approach that one should have as far as the research in language is concerned. Now in next phase, we are discussing about what are the probable areas that where the research is going to be carried out, or which are going to be the very essential areas that should be a cover up when we are thinking about the researching language. The first point, or the first area that should be cover up while doing research in language, is the English in social media and pop culture. Social media platforms such as Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube are no longer just a source of entertainment. They have become the informal learning spaces. So this is the most important thing. They are not only entertaining tools, but if we think about seriously, if we uh, look towards this particular media platform, it can be a kind of a informal learning spaces. Young generation pick up new words, expressions, slangs, and even grammar pattern through memes, captions, reels, short videos, and hashtag. This create an alternate classroom outside school and universities. So this is how the drastic change is going to take place. It is going to be considered as a classroom outside the classroom. Okay. So, but when we are properly using all these things, it is definitely going to help us in our teaching learning process. In future, English teacher and researcher may need to connect formal education with the informal education. So we has to make a balance between this formal education and the informal education, and we can make maximum use of this particular technologies to make our teaching learning process uh, more effective. Second point, or second area where we can carried out our research, is the corpus linguistic and the real life English. So this is also a very important aspect that one should consider. Corpus linguistic is the study of language using large collection of real text. In future, with the rise of digital communication, corpora will no longer be built only from newspaper, novels, or academic writing. Instead, researchers can use WhatsApp chat and text message to study informal conversation. So you can connect this particular thing, corpus linguistica, and the real life English. Traditional grammar book and dictionary often describe formal written English, but not the real spoken or the digital English. So there is a kind of wide gap between the grammatical English and the spoken English, or the corpus or the academic English that we used to speak. There are the various types of the abbreviations, like English words is also there. So that should be the area of research when we are thinking about, or when we are talking about the research in language. Then there is a digital classroom and online learning that all of you know about that, and COVID particularly make us realizes how the digital learning or digital classroom is going to be a important one. And the present seminar, we are also using this particular technology. So there are might be the problems of net and all this thing, or whether this facility is going to be reach into the every corner of the rural part. That is the different thing. But when we are thinking about the online teaching, when we are thinking about the digital classroom, it can be very useful, or it can be very handy if we are going to be use it very effectively. After COVID-19, digital classroom become the part of everyday and education worldwide. Platform like Zoom, Google Classroom, Microsoft Team, WhatsApp group replaces traditional face-to-face learning during lockdown. And most of, though it was going to be widely used or widely applicable or applied as far as COVID is concerned, but even after that, these particular things are going to be becoming the part and parcel. That's why we are saying that it's a ever changing process. Learning teaching is a ever changing process. So no one knows what the next will become, and we are going to be familiar of that particular thing with the maximum use of that particular thing. Online classroom may become the main platform for distance education, especially in developing countries. Digital tools, AI tutor, virtual reality classroom, language apps will grow in importance. Learners may increasingly depend on recorded lecture, chat-based learning, interactive apps rather than the physical presence. English being a global language will likely be one of the most widely taught subject through this digital mode. Although online education has expanded, several questions remain unanswered. Effectiveness of the speaking skill, because it's not so one-to-one, it's online. That's why there is a certain problems are there or certain area of the that we can research and that we can improve. Reading and writing can be practiced online. Reading and writing can be practiced online, but spoken English requires interaction, body language, and immediate feedback, which may be weaker in online platform. These are the drawbacks of this particular thing, but we can overcome, but we can also make it useful in our further process. Provide clear evidence about the digital divide and English education, offers insight for policy makers and education boards to design inclusive digital learning and strategies. The next most important is the AI and the English language learning. So it's a very familiar phrase or the word we are using very frequently. Artificial intelligence tool such as ChatGPT, Grammarly, Google Translate, AI speech tutor are become common in classroom and self-study. They can be provide instant feedback, suggest correction, and even stimulate conversation. So this makes research urgent not only for the student and teacher, but also for the education and the policy maker. So helps this AI technology is helps educator to understand early or abstract in language learning, provide evidence for designing guidelines on AI use of education, when, where, and how it should be used. Encourages a balance using AI for support but still prompt human creativity and critical thinking. AI is a technology, but until and unless you know how to use it effectively, it is not going to be useful for our learning process. So these are the areas, probable areas where the research in language can be carried out. So these are the my views that I share with you as far as the language in research is concerned, and there is a number of opportunities to venture into this particular area. And lastly, once again, I would like to express my sense of gratitude towards the Principal Khalsa sir and our friend Lomesh Meshram sir for giving me this opportunity to share my views on this particular topic. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. That has suggested us. That has suggested us the purpose of research in language and its probable areas. His views on spoken English that one should talk fluently in English rather than thinking about grammatical correctness and various digital ways of communication. Sir is always remain as an inspiring person in the field of English studies. His guidance is definitely useful for us. And now, I request from the audience that if the participant has any questions regarding this topic, you can ask. And for this session, I request Raj will be greeting. Padore sir. Over to Padore sir.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights on new research areas in the English language. We now welcome any questions from the participants. If anyone has, they can ask now. If anyone has any questions, they can ask now. The session is It seems there are no questions. So we will further proceed for the next session. Over to you, ma'am.
For this session, I invite Dr. Vivek Joshi sir, who is the second speaker, and request to deliver talk on the topic new areas of research in English literature. Before this, I request Raut sir again to give sir's introduction. Over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. It's my privilege to introduce Honorable Dr. Vishnukanth Joshi, Associate Professor in the Postgraduate Technical Department of English at Gurman University, virtually. He holds advanced degree in English literature, including MPhil and PhD from prestigious Indian universities. His academic expertise includes Indian English literature, Indian English drama, and Indian classical literary theories. Dr. Joshi has guided multiple PhD scholars, with 6 students registered under his supervision and 2 already awarded doctorates. He is a prolific academic, having published 23 research articles and 13 books. Dr. Joshi has presented his work at renowned national and international conferences. He is recognized for his professional contributions and actively participates in several esteemed English teaching associations. Once again, I welcome Honorable Dr. Joshi sir and request to deliver his speech on the topic new areas of research in English literature. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Over to ma'am.
Dr. Vivek Joshi sir. Joshi sir.
Can we have PPT? My PPT. I want to have a PPT. So can you give me right of sharing?
PPT. Yes, sir. Welcome, sir.
Is my PPT visible? Hello.
No,
Is
sir.
my PPT visible?
No, sir.
So give me right of give me right of presentation.
Yes, sir.
Can you see my PPT now?
No, sir.
Not it.
Is my PPT visible now?
Wait, Joshi sir. Sir.
My PPT this माझी PPT दिसते का?
No, sir.
No, sir.
तुम्ही मला एक राईट शेअर करा, प्रेझेंटेशन शेअर करा.
शेअर ऑटोमॅटिकली शेअर होते ना का कोणी शेअर करू
Anybody can share, sir.
कोणी शेअर करतो तुम्ही पाठवा
So did you share it?
Yeah, I'm sharing it.
तो विचार म्हणजे माझ्या मोबाईलला पाठवा.
सर अच्छा सर नोमेश मेश्राम सरांच्या व्हॉट्सअपवर शेअर करा.
Okay, okay. I will share it.
करता येते ना कोणी शेअर करू शकते. हा हा कसा तिथून बोलतो.
Hello.
हॅलो सर.
आवाज येत आहे? Hello. Hello.
हा सर.
Hello. Joshi sir, am I audible?
जोशी सर. हॅलो.
Remove झालेत. आता सांगितलं का how we can use this technology. त्याच्यावर
जोशी सर रिमूव्ह झाले. फोन करा सर. फोन करा रिमूव्ह झाले. ते फोन त्यांचा नेटवर्कही डाऊन होता. हा दोन डिव्हाइसने जॉईन झाले. हो रिमूव्ह झाले.
त्याच्याकडे कनेक्टिव्हिटी नाही बरोबर.
हा
पाठवलं म्हणतात पण आता इथंच समजा नेट नसेल इकडे इकडे कसं येणार आहे. एका मिनिटात जॉईन.
इंटरनेट कनेक्टिव्हिटी कम करते. का करतात बोल ना. तुम्ही बटन बंद केलं का द्या इकडे.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
हॅलो सर.
Sorry for this technical glitch. I am trying to share my screen now. Now let me know whether it is.
Restart.
You are present.
Is it?
Restart म्हणून सांगा ना.
Sir, this is visible now.
My screen is visible.
Yes.
So should I start my presentation now?
Okay, sir.
Hello everyone. At the outset, let me say sorry for the technical glitch at the beginning of this session. When we are talking about the connectivity, when we are talking about the technology, one has to this connectivity may also fails us sometimes. Anyway, we are here with the presentation, and I hope by the end of this session of around 45 minutes, we'll be able to understand a few things about why we are talking about certain areas which are, we call them as new, and how they are important as far as the future of research in literature is concerned. Thank you very much, the organizers, for having me on this platform to talk about my views on the emerging areas of research in English literature. I'm trying to explore the emerging directions and methodologies with which we can go for interdisciplinary approach. I have already been introduced, but let me say a few words about me. I'm Vivek Joshi. I work as a teacher in the Department of English of Gondwana University, Gadchuli since last 30 years, and I love to talk about the research areas with the community. When we are talking about research and emerging areas, we will try to understand the present situation and how the literature and research in literature has ever been dynamic, touching various walks of life, and how the changes, as Dr. Akshay Dhote has already hinted about, have started changing the dynamics and propositions about all walks of life and particularly literature. And then we'll also talk about the importance of tracking the trends, research trends, where we are moving to new directions. And these precisely are two objectives of this presentation. When we are talking about new things, we need to talk about the old things or maybe the present things, which we categorize as the traditional focus and the contemporary focus. You must have gone through so many titles by now where the research is happening about the texts, canonical texts, and most popular among them, as always, is William Shakespeare, the dramatist, the poet, and then the Milton for his very famous poetry, and the Chaucer, who considered him the father of English, modern English, pro English. And besides this, the analysis of the texts, then the aesthetic analysis of the work, and then characteristics, features of the writers. And so this precisely used to be the focus of many researchers and the studies, and majority of them were devoted to these particular domains, we can say, as far as the research is concerned. Of course, there were some attempts like critical interpretation of the text, to then besides the aesthetic sense, then there was some nature thing, and this we can say that it was earlier the focus of vertical research. But when we are talking about new things, we can have some instances like now the canonical texts are also there, but the instances are getting minimized now, and more focus is given to the marginalized voices, for example, or maybe contextual and interdisciplinary analysis, and then the analytical approaches. So these are the happening things for the time being, and I'm sure these are going to take front seats when it will come to the next phase of research. When we are talking about emerging areas, there are many, but the limitation of this presentation will prompt us to touch upon very few, like the digital humanities, the interdisciplinary approaches, the post-colonial and co-critical studies, then diversity and inclusion, globalization and cultural studies. So we will try to understand in context of these few areas, what are the possibilities and how the research is taking place in this particular domain. Of course, I must accept that there are more emerging areas than the ones I've mentioned in this particular slide. But let me confess at this outset that there are limitations, like limitation of time and limitation of description. So for the sake of this presentation, I will be limiting on this particular areas only. Of course, if the time permits, we can touch upon many such areas in future. So when we are talking about digital humanities, they are predominantly in social sciences and cultural presentations. many research journals are already following up on this particular like, and they're trying to mix, they're trying to relate these literary iconic texts with the interdisciplinary approach. For example, the first one writing scientific articles in the field of architecture. So the interplay between the architecture and literature, interplay between media, content creation, consumer engagements across sectors with the literature and canonical text like, and then this will be the future of this research, I believe. And if you can read this gamification as a teaching strategy for the social work students. So see the kind of approaches that particular studies are trying to touch upon. Gamification, very popular among the youth generation, Gen Z, for example. Then the teaching strategies for the action research, and they're talking about competencies in action research for the social work. So how specific the researchers is going. And this is one of the example, and I like this example very much because more than 5 areas this particular study will touch upon. Then you must have come across these terms like digital anthropology, then see this one also, then analysis of the contribution of feminist points, a feminist point of view to security studies. I'm given this as an instance because we want to understand as to how we are moving in this particular direction. Then these particular studies will also try to address upon the issues like the diversity and inclusion literature. I have selected the Springer Nature's Link for this because Springer considered to be the authority on many domain, and particularly the humanities domain, where we are talking about uh, how inclusion is involved in this particular domain as a new entrant, and uh, this bibliometric analysis shall show this will take a front seat in very near future. By the way, am I audible for the audience? Am I audible for the audience?
Yes,
Yes, sir, you are clearly audible.
yes,
And, and, and my speed is also okay with you all?
Yeah, screen also
yes,
is okay,
yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So when we are talking about globalization and cultural studies, I have selected this site for you, where literally attitudes will offer you various insights on as to how globalization and cultural studies will become very integral part of these studies in future. And of course, these are just examples as to what are the possibilities in this particular domain. But when we will go in deep, we will try to understand why these things are going to be very important in the future. By the way, have you come across this definition of research? Research is to see what everybody else has seen and to think what nobody else has thought. Have you come across this definition by Albert Sainz Guazi? Is it possible for to us for to be interactive? Is it possible for us to be interactive? Like, has anybody come across this
Yes.
definition of? Is it visible to you?
Yes, sir.
A research is to see what everybody else has and to think what nobody else has thought. And this serves as a very important phase in research, that is finding gaps in research, right? So let us come back to our presentation. Now, when we are talking about digital humanities and other domains for the future, it's also equally important to understand as to how these tools will be handy and help us in getting into more concrete kind of thing for the analysis and interpretation. So, see, this is very novel domain for us, that talking about computational text analysis within the humanities. See, until now we were studying the text, then having seen primary sources and then the secondary sources, and then analysis of these particular sources and critical insights and the objectives and other things. Now, this particular domain is talking about the analysis, computational analysis of the text. and this is very interesting thing. If you have if you have time, then just go through this particular sources you will love. And I have shared this maybe the presentation with the organizers, particularly of Namesh Mishram sir. So if anybody of you are interested in this particular presentation, you can get in contact with Dr. Namesh and get hold of this particular presentation. All things are included in that. So this is the future. And another very interesting domain where literature is taking us is distance learning data management sim. This allows us to analyze the data. See, distant reading and visualization, aka tool for text analysis and visualization. This is just one example as to how actually this is not new for entire world. It's new for literary studies, because we were thought of, we did not consider this to be very important thing for us in research, but now we have started understanding the importance of this domain. For example, there is a comparison as to how distant reading is maybe advantageous than the close reading. Traditional method is in literary criticism. Close reading was traditional method in literary criticism. Now, distant reading is considered to be new method introduced in literary criticism. Then, in the old close reading method, so I'm sorry, I should not call it old, but in close reading method, text based on interaction between human and reader as a text, wherein distant reading method, text interpretation based on general features and abstract knowledge. And there is a detailed kind of write-up if you are interested in knowing more about this. So why I'm talking about these tools, why I'm talking about these frontiers for the literary people, teachers and students of literature, because now onwards, this will be future of these studies. Then when we are talking about so many technological advancements and all, it is equally important to know as to few tools which will help us in getting near to this particular tool. For example, there are so many, but I'm going to refer Viant tools. Viant tool is nothing but the metadata kind of facilitation platform, where you can have interpretation facility, when you can have see through your text, like see the tagline of this software, see through your text. So it will analyze the entomological analysis, then interpretative analysis, and that way we will be able to touch upon so many things with the help of technology. Secondary sources and primary sources are equally important, but more catchy would be Viant tool in future if you want to see through your text what does that means in deeper level. Then I'm sure many of us have read about. I'm sorry for the technical glitch. I'm sure you have read about Project Gutenberg. Have you? Many of us is familiar with Project Gutenberg. So this is a consortium of ebooks, free ebooks. I'm sure there are many such ebooks available freely online, offline nowadays. But Project Gutenberg is considered to be the pioneer of this particular consortia, and at least myself have used this very extensively when it comes to original text is concerned. I think there is some technical glitch, but the details are included in the presentation link. Then go and visit the site of it. Now, when we are frequently talking about the interdisciplinary approaches, cross cultural things, we have to think about the possibilities of how we can achieve this interdisciplinariness in our research. So we have to integrate our literary text with sociology. I'm sure we all will understand and accept that many of our themes interdisciplinary nature. Some of them are popular in sociology, some of them are popular in history, philosophy, psychology, and nowadays this new area emerging out of besides these 4 or 5 major domains is environmental studies, and there are a few theses which are the scholars who are working on this particular possibilities, uh, like Amitav Ghosh, who's talking issues like environmental challenges and all. So these are the beginnings in the literary studies. When we are talking about interdisciplinary things, what are the possible models whereupon we can build these theories upon? Is there any technical issue? Is there? Now, when the researcher, primary focus of researcher is to find the gaps and reinterpret the things for the sake of more clear understanding, it is pertinent to uh, go for particular text in the evaluation, re-evaluation, and this will not be new thing for any research and analysis. And in this context, we are talking about the narratives which are written by the colonial narratives and re-evaluation of colonial narratives in context with digital humanism, then sociological approaches, psychological approaches, historical approaches. This is another very interesting area where the possibilities are enormous. I think the connectivity is not allowing me to share my resources. But my voice is clear, no?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
should
sir.
I go
Voice
ahead
is
if
clear.
my resources are not permitting me to
Yes.
show them visibly? I will hand over these resources to you. You can share them further, no? So I will just go, if the connectivity permits, I will go into the detail of this presentation and then slides. Otherwise, I will stick out these resources from these clues only, right? Is it,
Okay,
will it
sir.
do?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Will it do? Okay. So also, we are also talking about the representative of ecological consciousness, literature as ecological consciousness. For example, as just a few moments ago, I referred to Amitav Ghosh, who is frequently referring to the like the write-up, the prose section, or maybe novels. So, the study of these as a reflection of ecological consciousness will also be one other emerging area where, of course, you can see that I have mentioned the name of Virginia Woolf, the Victorian and post-Victorian age author. Uh, and her very famous environmental themes. But nowadays there are many who are trying to touch upon these particular issues very consciously to share the concern about this imbalance. When we are talking about inclusion and diversity, we also have to accept that hashtag rise of hashtag own voices and marginalized group. Then also very important thing is focus on race, gender, class, and identity, and impact of all these uh, issues and sub-issues on the publishing and literary awards. Uh, I deliberately won't be able to, won't like to touch upon this particular area because this requires another kind of time slot for the presentation. So I'm trying to leave this area for the further and future discussion. But I will definitely talk about how these marginal voices, the own voice hashtag representation of marginal groups is important in literary theories. Yeah. The few slides back, I referred to humanities and cultural studies as a milestone activity, and how these ecological and environmental issues were touched upon by various authors in past. In that context, I would like to refer to Rudyard Kipling, where he was colonial kind of. He had colonial futures, then he had ecological concerns, then he was a very popular writer among the Indian readers, and we can touch upon this particular issue, where Rudyard Kipling and his views about the forestry, his views about the nature, and fiction, and the his concepts of fiction, the possibilities when we are talking about future of shonen. So we, being representative of this and literature, and we ourselves are a part of global phenomenon. Paper which touches upon the this literature, the it won't give us time for future.
माझा नेटवर्क डाऊन झाला.
Hopefully, that the diasporic, so see, diasporic identity, transnational agency, and the of global mag.
दुसऱ्या जाऊ तुमचा नाही.
So migration of this particular studies, of course. So you will see the number like here, more than 300 in every year, except 2024 studies were conducted, and in 2025 3 studies are ongoing about this particular area. Then organizers, how much time do I have?
किती वेळामध्ये
How much time do I have? Do I have another 20 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. And,
Hello.
and don't hesitate to stop me when you feel like. Don't hesitate to stop me when the time is up. Okay. So when we are
You
talking
can
about,
continue.
so thank you very much. So when we are talking about very new fronts, very new domains, and very new approaches, we need to talk about the emerging areas of write-ups. The gone are the days when the plays were considered to be the important iconic texts, poetry considered to be iconic text, essay, then short stories, and autobiography. Now see some of the areas: flash fiction, hypertext, microfiction, blogging. These are the in quote unquote things. And being the student and researcher in the area of literature, we cannot afford to ignore these maybe happening things. For example, flash fiction. I'm sure many of you have heard this, but what is flash fiction? What does it mean? characteristics important. So if you are interested and curious about this, read the write-up by Crystal Cracker, who discusses as to what is flash fiction, characteristics of flash fiction, how to write flash fiction, great flash fiction examples, and why you should write flash fiction. A big area where the research possibilities are immense. Then there are hypertexts. I'm sure the techno-savvy people know what is hypertext, but I'm not talking about hypertext in that context. I'm talking hypertext in context of the literary creations where the hypertext literature is written. Now, the definition itself will make it clear that a pioneer in computer industry in the 1960s, the hypertext is non-sequential writing, text that branches and allows choices to the readers. Let's read at the interactive scale. Hypertext literature then follow the same definition. It's literature that is non-sequential, storytelling or pages. A reader revives the story by different clicking hyperlinks. So a very interesting thing. You try your own. You'll find very compact fiction, compact form of a write-up. Maybe I'm not sure, but maybe some 100 or 1,000 words and less. So there are some magazines which publish this particular type of form of literature, and then see why microfiction is important, because microfictions appeal to the modern reader is not surprising when considering the average adult's attention span is much longer than that the time it takes to click the mouse or tap to touch the key. So it is the reader's attention span that decides the scope and width of this particular fiction. So very interesting thing. Another thing, the microfiction. I have, out of curiosity, included this source for you, just as to understand how social media has influenced literature. I'm sure you all use social media when you use WhatsApp, when you use Facebook, when you use blogs, you use social media. But this write-up will guide you step by step as to how this media is going to impact the uh, on the new areas, the possibilities. We have to accept that it will go through as popular quality parameter set. It will go to SWOT kind of thing. So SWOT talks about challenges and opportunities. So these digital things have some challenges. These digital things have some opportunities. So, being very neutral researcher, we will see how these particular new fronts are challenging. Because when we are talking about new things and digital on digital platform, quality control is very important challenge as far as the acceptance is concerned. So this digital publishing source will may record some of the challenges, not all the challenges. So you can go and read if you are interested in. Then ephemerity of digital text, absence of digital text will also be a challenge when it comes to acceptability and validity. So this Taylor and Francis will require your authentication, but that's not very complicated. Then you can access their sources. So I very much recommend you to go and read these things when your time will permit. Studying absence, the ephemerity of digital new context. So very interesting studies. The people have already started exploring these areas. It is for us and our scholars to explore few of them if possible. Then besides these two challenges, I have recorded these two opportunities. I'm not claiming that there are just two challenges and two opportunities. I have selected a few of them: representative opportunities and representative challenges. So broader access is the opportunity as far as the new thing is concerned. So this is the article, the benefits and barriers in collaborative access activity by higher education providers. So go and read this article if possible to get more insights into. And then this will also allow us to understand what is innovative research method the people are undergoing and trying for. This is source of National Center of Social Research, very interesting thing. So it will give you some insights about how these collaborative efforts will help you in getting more opportunities and possibilities as far as literary research is concerned. I am almost on the verge of the conclusion of this presentation, and as a fellow participant of this particular session, we will recap the future direction of research literary studies. So the Reddit is very important platform, which is open access thing, and then you can contribute if you want to contribute anything, because this is open in a consortia. You have to create your own login details, and then there is a kind of thing, blog, maybe sharing open ended content which is editable, and then this will help you in collaborative learning mode. So after having speak about many things, I have tried to end up with this on the note that there are immense possibilities in the literature and literature. The students, the research scholars, and the associates are encouraged to explore more on their own, and for their help, I have included the sources in my presentation. So, dear participants and dear organizers, thank you for having me on this presentation. I hope I could touch upon this as a future endeavors. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir has explored key emerging trends of research in literature. Again, very detailed and advanced information on digital humanities and certainly all the streams of research in literature. Thank you once again, sir, for the thought provoking keynote address. Your words definitely have helped us to understand the actual theme of the seminar. And now, and now, anyone has questions, you can ask to Joshi sir. I request Dr. Padore sir to take the charge of this session. Over to you, sir.
We are now welcome any question from the participants. If anyone has any question, you can ask. Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights on new research areas in the English literature. We now welcome any questions from participants. If anyone has any questions, they can ask now. So there are no questions. So we are moving ahead with the next. Madam, over to you.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir is
I would like to express my gratitude to Akshay Dote sir and Joshi sir. I have a question for Joshi sir. Joshi sir, can you give few examples of flash literature?
Flash literature. Yes, of course.
Thank you, sir.
As I have already shared, this write-up gives you definition and examples as to what is flash literature. And if we want to be very relative to this, we can have stories from Panchatantra and Asopastable. as very crispy and short version of fiction.
May I know, sir, Joshi sir, what is the difference between popular literature and flash literature?
See the major difference is the scope and width of length of this particular book. When we are talking about poetry, there are more than one volumes of poetry by John Milton or classical other classical texts. So having these particular sources on one side and having flash fiction on one side, flash fiction is crispy and very controlled and very focused kind of affair. Plurality of fiction form. There won't be any plurality of interpretation and all. So this is focused kind of fiction, I'm trying to search out the things. Is possible, then I can give you some. See, can you see my slide? Can you see my slide? Is it visible?
Sir,
Other one, The Sticks by George Saunders starts with as a story about a metal pole raised in Santa Sud. But it quickly turns into a story of a father losing his sanity as told by his son. Flash fiction might be a shorter, but it's not easier than any other type of writing. In fact, many long forms authors find it more challenging.
thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
If anyone has any other questions, they can ask.
May I ask the question to Dr. Joshi, sir?
Yes, sir, please.
Yes, of course.
So, Professor Joshi, am I audible?
Who is speaking, by the way?
I'm Dr. Khalsa.
Oh,
May I ask you?
Yeah, sir, of course.
Sir, I just listened to your flash fiction, but I just one question arises in my mind: this what is the difference of how it is flash fiction is different from short stories?
See, the basic premise is the flash fiction happens to be the very shortest version of any literature, smaller than even some poems.
Even short
Short
stories.
story happens to be longer than the flash fiction. As I have narrated some sources where these things are, see, for example, some fictional things are written in less than 100,000 words, less than 1,000 words, and it won't be easy in composing or maybe writing this particular thing, because having said something in longer word is okay, it requires some skill, but compacting in some smaller version like by the fiction series, flash fiction stories is great way of sharpen your writing skill, forcing yourself to stay under 1,500 words.
Okay.
So it challenges your capacity to write precisely.
Okay, but do you think that it can affect the reading habits?
Of course it will, but also it has resulted from the attention span of the readers.
Okay, you say 2020 now and like this, no? Matches just like one day, then 2020 and like this. But good, it is in a very little time we can give the great message of this.
That is the reason why it has become popular source for many.
Yeah, exactly. So I like this fiction also. Very good. Okay, sir. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Any more questions? Okay. So the next session, Madam, over to you.
Should I log
Thank you,
off
sir.
now?
Okay, sir.
I will log off. Should I log off now?
Sir, 2 minutes only.
Okay.
Okay.
So I will stop sharing my presentation now.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. So, as we come to the end of this intellectual journey, I would like to thank every one of you. I invite Dr. Nomesh Mishram, sir, for the vote of thanks. Over to you, sir. Mishram, sir.
New areas of research in English language and literature. This was the topic of one day national e-seminar which was organized by the Department of English of Manohar Bhai Shikshan Prasarak Mandal, Armudis, Mahatma Gandhi College. The main objective of organizing this national level online workshop, online seminar is to acquaint the new amateur research scholars with various new emerging trends, various innovative research topics that are neglected and unexplored in language as well as literature. Actually, the topic of our seminar is stemmed out of my own research. I did my PhD on the topic English Ghazal. So English Ghazal was something innovative on the part of the English teaching fraternity. Many people asked me, is there Ghazal in English? So I thought that English Ghazal was something new and it was something innovative thing to do research. And that's why I discussed with the faculties of my department and we came to the conclusion that such type of some topic should be chosen by the department for national seminar. And that's why we selected the topic new areas of research in English language and literature. I discussed with the principal of the college and he also agreed that this is a good topic. I extend my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Akshay Dhote, the chairman of Board of Studies of English, Gondwana University, Gadchiroli. He is our first resource person who has given a good kind of guidance to our research scholars. And his topic was the new areas of research in English language. Dr. Vivek Joshi also, Professor and Head of English Postgraduate Teaching Department of Gondwana University, Gadchiroli. He has also given valuable guidance to our research scholars regarding the new areas of research in English literature. And he has focused especially on the interdisciplinary approaches, the digital humanities, and new emerging trends and literary theories, which are some new and innovative and unexplored areas in English literature. So I am thankful to Dr. Vivek Joshi, sir. Our main inspiration behind organizing this successful seminar is our Dr. Principal Lal Singh Khalsa, sir, who is also the chairperson of this national seminar. I am thankful to him for giving a good introductory and welcome speech. I extend my sincere, heartfelt thanks to the Secretary of Manohar Bhai Shikshan Prasarak Mandal, Manoj Bhau Vanmadi, the President of our institution, Sunita Tai Vanmadi. I extend sincere thanks to all the teaching and non-teaching staff of our college, especially the technical staff, the head department of computer science of our college, Professor Sunil Chute, all my colleagues, Miss Sneha Morle, Mr. Anil Raut, Mr. Vaibhav Padole, and I am thankful to all the participants, the attendees of this national level e-seminar on new areas of research in English language and literature. And with this, with the permission of the Honorable Chairperson of this national seminar, Principal Dr. Lal Singh Khalsa sir, I declare that this national seminar on new areas of research in English language and literature is officially concluded. Thank you. Thank you all.
On behalf of participant Nomesh sir, on behalf of all the participants, I express my sense of gratitude to Khalsa sir, Nomesh sir, and all the faculty members of English department and all the people who have extended their technical support. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for organizing this excellent workshop.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.